All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the actual application of what you're doing, not just punching or kicking in the air or swinging and sticking in the air. Our first motion that she does in her kata is a step with her right leg. As she does, I step with my right leg, and we make that transition. Let's do that one more time. So it's both of us doing the same motion. Now she steps again. I step actually backwards at the same time and block. Now what happens here is she pulls back to do her pole cue move. I step back and I actually block the pole cue move, going inside to outside, boom, like that. It's like a hooking motion, okay? And that is actually the first line of the kata. Now we're going to turn this way because obviously she'd be coming this way. So in the actual kata itself, she's like this. So she's going to turn her left foot, pull her right foot in, and then she's going to take her step with her left leg. So that's where she would actually be at in the kata. So she takes a step with the left leg, I take a step with my left leg. The only real difference here is that I'm stepping back at the same time. She steps, boom, then she pulls back, and as she pulls back to do her move, I do my block. In real life, if it was just an application, she would be stepping, pulling back, and then the target would be the body. So she'd be hitting the person into the body. That's the actual strike if it's not a two-person doing the same thing together with the actual kata. And the actual head strikes would be just what they look like. When she's standing here and she comes up, the application would be like a head strike, or maybe even a head strike. Or I jump back out of the way, maybe for both of those, and she ends it with the strike with being a pole cue. But that's kind of the application of what you're actually doing behind the moves themselves. And then coming up the line, so we would actually transition, we'd be over here. And now when we take that step with our right leg and we do these head shots that are in the kata, like when we're doing this kind of thing with the walking, what that really is, again, is a head shot. Now, if we were actually fighting with our bows and she takes her step, it'd be like a head shot. So this is a two-handed grip, and it's what we call our upper block with the stick. Okay, two grip upper block. She takes a step again, boom, and then the last time she takes a step, boom. So I'm basically blocking this. Now again, if it was a fighting application, it could still be like hand to hand, and she'd be taking her step, and I kind of jump out of the way, take my step, jump out of the way, but I didn't jump enough on the last one, and she gets me. You know, I mean, the applications are really what you make of them, but I want there to be a visualization as to what we're really doing. Okay, so that would end the commentary really on that, because when you're going in this direction, it's still the same motions, it's just different sides. So, like, in other words, when we are actually going in this direction, now, like, you know, we're at the top of the kata this way, okay, so we're here, now we got to go, let me think, we go this way, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So it'd be bring your leg in, and then so in other words, it's still a head shot. It's still a head shot. It's still a pull back with the pull cue. And then when we turn, we go this way. It's still the same thing. It'd be a head shot, and then pull back, pull cue. And then the same thing that we came up the line with, we end with the line with. So really, it's just like a certain set of moves, repetitive. But the actual application we just showed you would be the head shots and what the pull cue actually looks like. Okay. The only thing I will add to it is when we do this up the line part of the kata, when we actually do this like pull back and we do this circle motion in out, we're coming low, we're going counterclockwise, coming up and coming out. What that is an actual block to a pole cue. So when she's actually facing you this way and she's pulling her hand back, what I'm doing is I'm winding up my stick. I'm doing a circle, and as she pole cues, I try to make the stick hit the circle. So I'm doing the circular motion and knocking it this way. The reason we do this in real application, in a real fight, would be that she would do that motion. I would do my block and maybe step in and do a headshot. I would actually open her up by doing it. Like she's trying to do a stab, I do my block, but a great counter to that would be a step with those headshots. And that's why when we're going up the line with the kata, we go here with our block. So we've actually opened that person up, and then we give them the headshot and a headshot and a headshot before we actually do it, okay? So when you see this motion with this big circle like that, that is actually a counter to the straight stab. When someone straight stabs, the counter is a big circle with it, and we call it an out to in. And if you remember, everything I said with a bow could be like the hands. So that would be like an example without the bow, which could be like, you know, basically like a middle block, because someone's trying to throw a punch, so it'd be like a middle block, and then like a straight chop, a straight chop, and a straight chop. Just because you have the bow in your hand doesn't mean that it, you know, the bow is an extension of your body. So you always want to think martial arts, you want to think where you're hitting and things of that nature. But that actually concludes the tutorial on the first Bo Kata.